It's exactly 1 minute to come past the hour of 9. A very wonderful morning to you, and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is News Punch, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story headlines making the rounds. I am your host, NEDU OKORIE. You're welcome this morning. In the headlines, Edun Dangiwa resigned, not sacked. Presidency clarifies. Federal government to waive airline debts as Tinubu intervenes in aviation fuel crisis. Power Minister Adelabu resigns to focus on Oyo governorship race. Senator Ningi calls for suspension of political activities in 8 states over insecurity. Atiku flags dangerous loophole in Electoral Act, demands urgent fix. 2027 PDP fixes 51 million naira for presidential form, unveils election shadow. ADC PDP risk exclusion from 2027 polls as Supreme Court reserves judgment in leadership disputes. Court orders remand of 6 over alleged terrorism charges. 10 contact of Chinese COVID-19 patients identified under close monitoring, says Cross River. Oshun Guba, Governor Adeleke expresses confidence in victory. Boko Haram killed more Muslims than Christians. No genocide in Nigeria, says Lai Mohammed. Federal lawmaker escapes death by suspected gunmen in Kwara. Unijos graduate regains freedom after days in kidnappers' den. Nigeria's ambassador designates to Algeria, Mohamed Lele, dies at 50. And moving on to the foreign scene, Iran seizes ships in Strait of Hormuz after Donald Trump halts attacks. UN officials calls out Israel over highly provocative incursion into Syria. Pope Leo criticizes Equatorial Guinea prisons as he winds up Africa tour. 2 hostages captured in Niger freed by Russia's Africa Corps in Mali. And in sports, Man City overtake Arsenal in Premier League table with narrow win over Burnley. Chelsea sacks Rosenio after 3 months at EPL. And there you have it. Those are the major headlines making the rounds this morning. It was compiled and edited by Adeyemi Adewale. My name is Nedu Okorie. And for sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 0912-929-4332. You can also call 090-7722-7120. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have an in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories. Don't forget that you can also follow us by logging on to any of Diamond FM online platforms on www.diamondfm.net, or keep up to date via all our social media pages. Do stay with us. I'll be right back.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the sport spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, it's so good to be back here, wonderful people. It's so good. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Quarants. Welcome to your Shining Supreme Station, and this is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we review some of the trending stories from our national dailies. What we do here is we analyze some of the issues that concerns us and also prefer solutions on the way forward. All right, my name is NEDU OKORIE. My friends call me Mazio Dogu. Since you are my friend, you can call me Mazio Dogu. Welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show this morning. A very wonderful morning to you. All right, this morning we'll be taking a look at, as usual, three important topics. First, we'll take a look at the resignation of the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, and the Minister of Housing, Develop and Urban Development, Mr. Dangiwa, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa. They resigned from their positions, and we will take a look at the controversies surrounding this and also take a look at their performance during their tenure. Then from there we'll move on to a particular concern raised by the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Chief Emeka Anyoku, and he has raised concerns about the eroding values in Nigerian societies. We'll also analyze this particular issue. And lastly, if time permits us, we'll take a look at the federal government's plan to reduce cost of transportation through the CNG credit scheme initiative. And what we're actually taking a look at in this particular story is the impact this initiative would have on Nigerian citizens. And in the studio this morning to discuss these issues, I'm being joined by a public affairs commentator and lecturer from Kwara State University, Mr. Sulaiman. Doctor, apologies. I take that back.
No offense taken.
Dr. Sulaiman Afiz, you're welcome this morning.
Thank you very much, Mazi Nedu. I am your friend.
You know, in Nigeria, we have to give accolades and titles to who deserves it.
Of course, but not necessarily. When intentions should be judged as much as the action.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm still a mister.
You're welcome this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's delve quickly into what we have this morning. Yes, according to many individuals, there have been confusions about the exit of Mr. Edun as the Minister of Finance and also Mr. Dangiwa as the Minister of Housing and Urban Development. They tendered their resignation, yes, recently, and Mr. Edun handed it over to Mr. Taiwo Oyedele as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, and Ahmed Musa Dangiwa handed over, or is still a minister designate though, Mutaka Rabe Dama. Yes, he has been named by the president as the ministerial nominee and minister designate for housing and development. But all this is actually causing controversy amongst the people, whether they were sacked or resigned. But that is actually not what we should focus on this morning. We should actually analyze the performance in those sectors. But it was reported that Mr. Edun was sacked due to his ill health. and he clocked 70 on Monday, and he tendered his resignation letter. However, some analysts have said that they have their own opinion. They said that Mr. Wale Edun was sacked as the minister because of his inadequacy in implementing some of the policies of Mr. President. And we also have some criticism from opposition chieftain Dino Melaye. He alleged that Edun was sacked due to the 34 trillion naira hidden spending that was flagged recently by the World Bank in their latest development update report. And many individuals have different speculations concerning their sack. But if we take a look at the performance of Mr. Wale Edun under his administration or under his tenure, we had, will I say, some sort of violated provisions in the Fiscal Responsibility Act in terms of poor budget implementation. In just a budget cycle, 3 budgets was actually running: the 2023 budget, the 2024 budget, as well as the 2025 budget. They were running concurrently, and many see this as a failure on his part. But let's take a look at the controversy and also his performance, particularly, as well as the performance of the Minister of Housing and Urban Development. How would you see the performance during their tenure?
Good morning again to you, Mr. NEDU.
Good morning.
And good morning to both our listeners and our viewers on Facebook.
Okay.
So it's always my pleasure to be on Diamond FM to share some of my opinion, and of course to analyze things the way I am seeing it.
Okay.
And not only that, I also like to say that maybe just move straight to the matter. Yeah. Let me start by saying that if anybody care to listen to you the way you have actually, reviewed the news, for every sound mind, even if you are not familiar with what has been going on, you should be able to form an opinion. But by and large, let me pinpoint some things and analyze it just the way you have read it.
All right.
Coupled with my initial background knowledge of the story. I want to say that there are 4 or 5 things that are in place now. One of it is that there is a culture we are not used to. And what is the culture we are not used to? Resignation. So we as a country are still not in tune with the possibility that somebody can resign from office. Hence, to some large extent, why all this controversy. What do I mean? You can resign from 3 things. 1, you can voluntarily resign. 2, you can be asked to resign. You understand? And the third one is within you understand, you may not want to voluntarily resign, but if you look at the person you are working with and you felt that, we are not on the same page, though as much as it is against your best judgment to resign, but you can feel like continuously working in this atmosphere is not okay. You can still say it's voluntary,
okay,
but circumstances can make it to resign. But resignation is like a dignified, sometimes it's like a dignified dismissal. I don't want to use sack. So if you have a good relationship or background with somebody, not to tarnish their image, okay, this is not going where we want, instead of us sacking you, why not resign?
Okay.
That is one. Secondly, we should also know that maybe people don't know that when we are electing a leader, we are not just electing that person, we are passing a vote of confidence on the person's judgment to recruit, you understand, to monitor, supervise, you understand, hire and fire those who can work with him or her, as the case may be.
Okay.
For every time we elect a governor, we elect a president, chairman of a council, what we are doing is that we are also donating our power such a way that he can also look within us and pick some people that can work with him. we are ascertaining his judgment, admitting that we trust him in this election process. So when this happened, we are telling him that he can hire and also fire.
Okay.
Though because we do not trust any individual, in some instances we do not give him the power solely. We also elect those who represent us that will help us to also screen his decision. So it's as if we are giving him power, but we are still entrusting some of our power to some people in order to work with him.
All right.
So at this instance, it means that the president can also hire and fire.
Okay.
So I have to establish the basis of the law.
It's very important.
Now, whether he was sacked, he resigned, these are speculation. The official statement that we will go with is that there was a minor cabinet
reshuffle. Yes.
During this period, there was room for resignation and there was room for reappointment. If you look at the new minister, he came on board even when we do not see the possibility that, you understand, but he was nominated. Perhaps I will talk about him also, but to put it to rest the whole matter, why we may think or people may speculate is even is, if you notice, this is not the first time the president is telling us that any ministers who fail to perform, that is going to remove them.
Yes.
He said it on 2, 3, 4 occasions.
Yes.
But we were expecting the implementation so soon. Like I said, this is not the custom we are used to. What we are used to is once you get to power, you manage it to the end. So this has some advantages and even some disadvantages, as the case may be. But we want just take it. We are close to election cycle. Ordinarily, we don't expect any changes. But even 1 month, 2 months is enough to change the life of Nigerians.
Okay.
So that is one.
All right.
Now, on the issue that might have led to probably his eventual resignation, probably his health also did not allow him to function at his. Yes. We don't expect that very good young man. I won't call him old man. And I have to use the word good.
He's actually young, 70. Should be regarded as.
That is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Depending on the way you want to see it. So if he felt that he need to focus on, in his own words, some private investment, the order of the government might be too much for him to bear. So it is also allowed. But there are 4 or 5 things in place too. One, there was a case, just like you mentioned, of running 3 budget cycles. You know, that is a precedent that we've not experienced in this part of the world, and sometimes it may be strange. That is one. Secondly, there was even just like the Senator Dino Melaye, you understand, also observed the gap in the World Bank assessment. In fact, there are some people who also believe that federal government intend to raise 70 billion or trillion, whatever, I can't remember the figure, but he reported that it was actually 10. So that left some kind of a gap. And there was another instance, if you can recall, of a rebutment that he did when the presidency said we actually grow to some level, but he said no, we not grow to that level. So we can see some
discrepancies, yes.
So which is even enough room for disengaging him or asking him to honorably, you know, resign. So that, and if you look at the young man that is coming on board, he is how would I put it? I become conversant well enough with him, though I've been hearing his name, when he was trying to sell the issue of a tax reform.
The tax reform.
And you can see how eloquent he is. So that is also to tell you that probably he is more in line with the agenda of the presidency rather than the current minister of finance and supervising minister of economy. So I
sincerely apologize. I have to cut you short here. We have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, because you're already delving into some of the achievement and challenges Mr. NEDU encountered as minister. This is still the Diamond Breakfast Show. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation, and this morning we're taking a look and analyzing the resignation, because it is official right now that they resigned and they were not sacked. The resignation of the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, as well as the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Ahmed Musa Dangiwa. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show. I'll be right back.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again oh. this one with your body hot so. You don't do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine. We dey knock down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you, Oga Luta. I don't dey can't pay. Luta, brand of Artemeta and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Ziyara ta farko a gidan sirikai na kusan kiran 'yan sanda. Bayan na marmasa dunkulen Mr. Chef sai na ji miyan kuka ta fara turanci. Har ma an ta Amina sarauniyar iyayi ta ce, "A zuba min a kwano in tafi da ita gida."
Ji daɗin ɗanɗanon al'adu tare da dunkule mai sauƙin marmasawa na Mr. Chef Beef mai ɗanɗanon daddawa da kuma haɗaɗɗen kayan ƙamshi. Mr. Chef ɗanɗanon gida, ɗanɗanon al'ada.
Ferrobin iron and care, be good for your body, shey you yeah. Oh, yes. Are you not aware? Folic acid dey for there. Now your daily friend, for your blood it be 10 over 10. Oh yes. Feel your best, choice you way don't pass the test. Ferrobin, blood builder for everybody. Ferrobin, healthy body for everybody. Ferrobin na product of Fitsin Healthcare.
Hey, now where these people want to make I see this kind of plenty money?
Mama Vero, wetin happen?
Now Veronica, the clinic where I carry her go, then give me plenty hospital bill. We fit your pockets.
You no get health insurance?
Which one be that one now?
Health insurance na great opportunity oh. You only need to register for the nearby primary health care center or any accredited hospital where they under Kwara Care. Then you go begin to enjoy free or subsidized medical services everywhere for Kwara here.
For real?
Yes now. This health insurance thing even dey very important for pregnant woman like you and Vero wey dey under 5 years old because na both of you need regular access to quality health and you know regular visit go attract regular payment oh. But once you don register for health insurance, you go just dey enter comot for free like say na your papa build the hospital.
You don come again with those your expensive jokes oh.
Don't mind me jare, but this one no be expensive joke oh. This one go help you get access to quality health anytime you need am. For more information about this health insurance, make you visit Kwara Care office wey dey house 27B Amadu Bello Way, GRA Ilorin, or make you holler them on this toll-free number 0800-100-1001. Na Kwara Care dey knack you this story.
You love food, but hate the discomfort that comes after? The indigestion that ruins your mood. Don't let stomach discomfort control your day. Gascol Antacid delivers fast relief you can feel. It neutralizes excess stomach acid quickly, helping you get back to what matters. It's effective, affordable, and easy to find. No stress, just relief. Choose comfort. Choose confidence. Available in pharmacies near you. Gascol Antacid. Fast relief. Full comfort. Gascol is a product of Fitsin Healthcare PLC.
Tune in to Brilliance, Diamond 88.7 FM.
And we're glad you're still listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, and this is Diamond Breakfast Show DBS. And welcome back from that commercial break. And this morning we're taking a look at the resignation of the Minister of Finance as well as the Minister of Housing and Urban Development. A lot of controversy have been going on, but we are focusing on how they have revamped that sector and their achievements in that sector, but particularly there are a lot of criticisms regarding their performance. But I've got my guest in the studio who has been analyzing the issues, and first we've been taking a look at some of the challenges they've been facing or they faced while in that sector, and there are a lot of challenges they faced and a lot of some things that they did not achieve. One of such is the reception of 36 million naira out of the 218 million naira budgeted for health sector in 2025. And what was the impact, the negative impact of this? Child immunization programs was actually hindered in some extent. Even the government counterpart funding initiative, it was not met. there was limited impact on government safety net program and all this palliative initiative due to this lack of disbursement of funds. But you were talking about some of the encounters they faced while in that sector. Even the Minister of Housing and Urban Development also had some challenges. Yes, due to want of time, we might not reel out some of the challenges they faced, but you were analyzing some of the hiccups the Minister of Finance faced while in tenure.
Yes, thank you very much. I think when you talk about the disbursements,
yes,
it becomes noticeable after as we enter 2024, when we realize that we are still running 2023 budget.
Yes,
and it's even extend to 2025. So at a point, we're running not just budget, even supplementary budgets. As much as I will, I'm always a strong believer that when there's an issue like this, somebody, you understand, should pay it and be responsible for the actions. But I will not totally attribute this failure, so to say, to the former minister. I think is mandated to hand over before the close of work today. So we have a new minister. So let me just say the outgoing minister. So we still have to trace some of these issues back to the presidency. And if there is anything I've understand, I used to say this casually on the street. Maybe I should say it here again, and I'll say it as likely as possible. We should know that when we talk about president, there's also what we call presidency.
Yes.
It will surprise you to know that in most instances, the presidency is bigger than, somehow bigger than the president itself. You see, if you offend the presidency, it's just like you have offended the president. Because without the presidency, you can't get to the president. I was trying to remember his name. There was this spokesperson that resigned earlier, sometimes not quite long.
Was it Ajuri?
Yes, Ajuri.
Ajuri Ngalale.
Look at how vibrant this young man is.
Yeah.
He fell out with the presidency. So that is just the issue.
He fell out with the presidency, not the president.
Oh my brother, the presidency. You see, the presidency are the one enjoying the power. So at times in Nigeria, we just have to even go beyond who the presidency is, and we have to start analyzing. This is an election. Let us look at those who are working, the people who are going to be the kitchen cabinet. They are also as important as the president. Because at times I was listening to another, I will not mention anybody, that was this particular state governor, and the person for like 2-3 months was like, you understand, he's like going to Abuja being sort. But according to what we are seeing now, it's like he's also falling out with the presidency. So and what you do to see the president become difficult, and the funniest thing that the president will not even know you are trying to say him. And these people are the ones screening everything everything that the president is seeing. So at times I'm even thinking, I'm sure time will tell. I will know the full story of what really went.
I apologize, I have to cut you short here. There was something you mentioned earlier, that the president made an announcement concerning the state of the economy, and the minister also made a different statement entirely. Do you think this might have contributed to the fallout with the presidency?
See,
making a statement and the Minister of Finance coming out to make a different statement entirely.
It wasn't like a different statement entirely.
Yes.
But probably as a principal man or whatever he thinks, he just have to let people see the actual picture.
The truth.
But I did not say the president too. It was the presidency.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
We hardly hear from the president. So when we hear from the president, we always assume except only there is a social garden where the president had to make speech himself. Most of these things are from the presidency. You understand? Which we will say it combined the president too as well. But it also has some other people who are kitchen cabinet. Some of these people are not even screened by the National Assembly. They are handpicked by the president. So that is one. Secondly, before we go, I want to tell you something.
Yes.
If you look at the leadership style of the Mr. President, you will know that he's not somebody that just give you free hand to just start working like the late president. So he is somebody that in a way micromanage. And if you can recall the interview granted by former governor of Lagos State, that is Raji Fashola.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. So he mentioned that they are because he was asked the difference between during the campaign between late President Buhari and now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he said the two people he gave them their accolade, you understand, but he said why former President Buhari will just allow you to work and expect you to give him feedback, trusting you totally, and we can see what happened. Even those who people were calling to be sacked, removed, he did not answer you. As long he just gave them total free independence. But right now, even this is showing that he's not somebody, the president is not somebody that will sit down, and that also have his own advantage.
You will monitor.
You will still monitor. So I believe whatever have happened is not totally the person's achievement or the person's fault, but we have to give some of it back to the presidency.
Well, still talking about the challenges or some of the lapses that the Minister of Finance encountered, there were recorded achievements and positive side of his tenure. The stabilization of the naira, the increase in foreign reserves, and the delivery of trade surplus, even the growth of the GDP were also recorded as some of the achievements in the finance ministry.
And even the recently announced importation, this thing is, we can also attribute that to it, because if you look at the plans, I will tell you that the
even the tax reform,
that is what I'm saying, because it's also part of it, you understand.
Yes.
Though somebody championed it, which is now the incoming minister.
Yes.
So if you look at it very well, you will know that it is not the lack of policy. In fact, I have seen some of the beautiful policies from the outgoing minister, you understand, but the problem still remains the implementation. And I always say this: Nigeria is not a typical country. If you judge Nigeria with the typicality of other countries, something will go wrong. So even in budget implementation, we still have to be putting Nigerian factors, because naturally you don't just expect a good policy to make effect. There are people who study your policy and are already going there. They are not studying they are studying it to create. Okay, let me give you an instance. I was trying to buy a bag of rice.
Yes. And
the seller was telling me that, gone are the days when I will buy a bag of rice and mean my 50 kg. There are some surgical operations along the way. So there are people who are with the keen eye of surgically operating on the policy to create some unnecessary loopholes, and this contributes to making Nigeria not typically as every other country. You understand? You see beautiful policy. Once it is implemented, you see people enjoying, but you find out that people are not still enjoying. So it's that time we start looking at that peculiarity of policy implementation in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much for your submission. Now let's take a look at another individual who recently resigned, because this period is we are gearing up towards the election period. Some people are resigning to take over another position. Let's take a look at the Minister of Power, for example, Mr. Adelabu, who recently resigned as the Minister of Power to pursue his position, to pursue his ambition rather, as the governor of Oyo State. He recently resigned, and during his time, while reflecting on his tenure, despite his background in finance, he said that the experience has equipped him well to take over the administration of the Oyo State governorship, to implement reforms in infrastructure and different areas. But if you take a look at his administration or his tenure, there were reports of dwindling generation of power, even some sort of will I say corruption in terms of distribution amongst the discos. The amount generated is actually different from the amount distributed, and there were some sort of backlogs of debts in the sector. Would you say Mr. Adebayo Adelabu actually performed optimally? I won't say to the best, optimally.
Unfortunately, the system that we are having right now make it so hard to objectively assess any of the government appointees. Remove. I'm trying to remove emotion as much as possible.
Yes.
If you ask me right now, if I'm putting my emotion in the measure, I'll tell you no.
That
because I did not enjoy light. And he's the man in charge of electricity in Nigeria. But if we want to look at it objectively,
yes,
there are too many variables in place.
Okay.
I'll give you an instance. We know President Muhammadu Buhari to be very assertive.
Yes.
He tried it with disco. Naturally, President stopped talking about it. At the point, I was happy. I thought it would be the end of disco. When President Tinubu came on board, he did the same. In fact, do you remember at the early period of this administration, if you can recall how assertive, demanding, audacious the now resigned Minister of Power is, you will realize that he intended lofty things for Nigerians. But at a point, I think people call him and say, look, you can't do more than you can do. You can't do more than you can do. That is to tell you of the norms or the unheavenly practices that some people has put the Nigerian electricity when we are going in bed with discourse.
So you're saying that the system has been marred with some sort of corruption
I am
and
not
negativeness.
I am not totally exonerating him.
Yeah, okay.
But I can tell you that we had quite numbers of national grid breakdown during his tenure. As long as I cannot totally attribute this to him, because he's the man in charge, he's a dent.
You also met some challenges, and
I agree. I'm telling you.
You also mentioned some challenges like gas shortages, vandalism.
That is what I'm telling you.
And all that.
We know we cannot totally attribute this, but you are the man in power, so you cannot be totally exonerated. There is issue with this prepared, and the debt with prepared. That's another problem. You understand? So if you look at what policy is saying, I think this story, of course, I like the way you have related with the previous one, is, but there are peculiarity. The way our national grid was just, you understand, you will notice that it cannot naturally be hand of God. It's pointing to sabotage. But we cannot exonerate him. That's what I'm telling you, that the yardstick for measuring, if you want to objectively, I repeat, objectively, if I ask you now, I want to be a teacher for a minute.
Okay.
Between objective question and essay question, which one is better? Which one will you pick?
Of course, I'll pick objective.
Why will you pick objective? I'm turning out to be the interviewer.
Because I have the opportunity to pick between different arrays of answers.
That's not the only reason.
Okay.
The reason is that it only has one right answer.
Of course.
It removed the bias.
It removes the bias.
It removes the feelings. No matter how you can be writing essay and say, oh, this has a good at that, and he tried, but he did not get it. Let me give him a. But in objective, is either you get it right or wrong.
You know, one important thing that I love that you mentioned was that he had good intentions, but there were some.
If I can
issues.
judge him with the initial statement,
yes,
you can call it initial grad the way you want to have people. I said it from the beginning. I don't just judge individual by actions. I countenance
that statement.
I not just the statement. I countenance the intention as much as I can read it. If you look at the intention, he wanted to do good. He came with a good heart, but at the very first beginning, his hands were tied.
Why is it not continuing?
I am not saying he can be exonerated.
Yes.
You can't. Which good can you do with this current disco?
No. The issue is, why is he actually vying for this position, the Oyo State governorship?
If he
actually means well for that sector, he should have continued to revamp that sector.
It is different. It is different. I am not campaigning for him.
No.
But when you are an appointee,
yes,
it's very for when you do you know how powerful governors are in Nigeria? That's how powerful governor. In fact, if it mean well for people of Oyo State, he can achieve even that power as a governor more than he can as a minister. We have states who are no longer depending on national grids. So what about if he mean good and he establishes his own generation and he can achieve that? I am not saying, of course, I can't vote in Oyo State, and I know they are listening to us.
Yeah.
But I am saying that whichever candidate is on there, they should judge. But I am just saying that at times, if we holistically look at the variables in place, as much as I would say it's not an excuse, But I'm not saying that it cannot be totally exonerated for the failures of the national, but it can also be, the entire blame cannot be put on
him. Okay.
Because at a point, even President Muhammadu Buhari has an opportunity. Is that you pay up hugely to this co, you understand, and take out Nigeria out of the evil practices, so to say, or you just maintain the status quo. And he went for the other, he maintained the status quo. I think President Tinubu also is doing the same thing. But what I'm saying is that we should not forget that some people actually put us in this situation to begin with. And because of that, I personally may not even see any good in some of those people who are coming back, because I will judge them because they are the one that laid this unnecessary or unspeakable foundations for us.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Sulaiman Hafiz. We've talked about three different individuals in different sector: the finance sector, the housing sector, and also the power sector. And the one we didn't really touch more on is the housing sector, because there was actually some sort of insignificant development.
It is not insignificant. In fact, I don't want to talk about it. It will interest you to know that, God, there is a particular. We talk about people not having housing.
Yes.
But do you know how many federal government housing units that were unoccupied for many years? If I don't know any, I know in Kwara. In fact, I know where around my area. For almost since the first tenure of President Buhari, I have been seeing those houses unoccupied up to this moment. But I was happy that recently I had the news of the Kwara State government taking charge of some of these housing units at Ogbondoroko. I want to believe they are taking charge of the one at Asadam too, and they should put these houses to use, because it is even contributing to security risks when you have houses and people are not occupying it.
Yeah.
And people need a house.
Very important.
So, and for the fact that, in fact, if there is any way, I cannot pinpoint any good. Unfortunately, I don't believe housing is a place where the way I want to rate it. In fact, if I just want to add the emotion to it,
I think it is orchestrated by the private sector
that is
in
what I'm
Nigeria.
saying. I don't think he has done anything, because Raji Fashola occupied that, and we saw what he did. It was the establishment of all this. At a point, they told us it was 1,005 housing units across states in the federations. We don't know what the end of this. At the point, somebody was telling me to go to the website, and I checked the website. Some of these houses were listed at prices that common man cannot afford, and we are talking about federal government estates.
All right, this morning we're talking about the transition or the resignation of some ministers from their sectors and how this affects us as Nigerians. And one of them actually is vying for another position to become the governor of Oyo State. And my guest this morning is saying that probably that what he did not achieve as the Minister of Power, he might probably achieve it as the governor of Oyo State in Oyo State. Well, let's permit you to make your contributions known, particularly on this topic. Please go straight to the point. We have no time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Uncle.
Good morning.
Good morning, the guest, who Prophet Ayodele for airport.
Thank you.
You know, issue of the financial offer.
Yeah.
We have a small map. But I reject with the man no die there. He refused his 5 healing. But some of these ministers, they disappoint Mr. President, and we Nigerians too. Hearing about the huge money, if it is true, the man disappoints us. That's what I can say. God be with every one of us.
Thank you so much, Prophetess, for your contribution. Keep your calls coming in. 09136556952. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a delegation and I'm calling from us.
You're welcome, sir.
You see, this is because I'm jobless and not sick. I have time to analyze Nigeria politics. Regardless if Adelabu resigned or he was giving his soft landing, there was President's directive. Whoever wanted to contest election must resign on the 4th at 1st March this year. Did you remember that, Nidu?
Yeah.
You did not. Now, when Edun and the Danjua of the man, they were removed. Maybe the presidency, a kind of control, turn it to resignation. Unless we are between ourselves, we all know that APC, they already have their governorship candidate in Oyo, who is Sarafa Ali. So for Adilabu, the government to have now said Adilabu resign, it is Scotland, not
Thank you so much. And this is another angle. According to him, he was meant to resign even before now, but the government gave him soft landing. And
just like you normally say,
Dr. Hafiz, this is a typical country.
Honestly.
Well, we have to go on another commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue taking your reactions and we'll move over to our second conversation, which might probably be our last conversation. Do not go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Ziyara ta farko a gidan sirikai na kusan kiran 'yan sanda. Bayan na marmasa dunkulen Mr. Chef sai na ji miyan kuka ta fara turanci. Har ma an ta Amina sarauniyar iyayi ta ce, "A zuba min a kwano in tafi da ita gida."
Ji daɗin ɗanɗanon al'adu tare da dunkule mai sauƙin marmasawa na Mr. Chef Beef mai ɗanɗanon daddawa da kuma haɗaɗɗen kayan ƙamshi. Mr. Chef ɗanɗanon gida, ɗanɗanon al'ada.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
All right, wonderful people, you're welcome back from that commercial break. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show. All right, let me take this message. This one says, "Good morning, NEDU, my friend. Good morning, our dear analyst. We throw politics into everything in Nigeria. When he was appointed, there were noises coming from the opposition. Now that he has been disengaged due to health reasons as alleged, there are speculations here and there. Political appointees are meant to be hired and fired. Even permanent secretaries are not to be in office forever. Nevertheless, Mr. Wale Edun has contributed his own quota as far as service to the nation is concerned. His contributions cannot be taken away from the little economic stability we have now. I just pray that God will help the new minister to raise the beacon of economic stability beyond where Mr. Wale Edun left it." This is from Elder Yemi Ashaju. Thank you so much, Elder, for your message. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that. Kindly call us back. All right, this one is Saka from Sakaoni Muritala from Alori. Says, "I greet you in the studio. In fact, he resigned or sacked. Nigeria needs good financial expectations and good economic decision in Nigeria. The masses are suffering, and for the Minister of Housing, there is no cheap housing or cheap building for civil servants or citizens of Nigeria. May God bless Nigeria." Thank you so much for your contribution, Saka. Hello, good morning. Good morning. All right, what's your name? What's your name and where are you calling from? All right. Hello? All right, we lost that call. Do call us back. This one says, "Good morning, the anchor and the analyst. The federal government said Mr. Wale Edun was not sacked, but he resigned. Whether he was sacked or resigned, he had played his part by serving very well in President Tinubu's government. I pray the new minister, Taiwo Oyedele, would perform his duties and with distinction." This is from Samuel from Airport. Thank you so much, Samuel. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. All right. Hello. All right, we can barely hear you. Kindly call us back. This one is from Al Masur from Ojauba. It says, "If not for the recent Gulf War between US, Israel versus Iran that puts pressure on our economy, the former Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, addressed the issue of inflation and stabilized our currency. The circumstances that surround his resignation is immaterial to me, but its impact and achievement in our economy is what matters to me. All right, we have to move on to our second conversation. Our time is really fast spent. We've taken too much time for the first conversation. Let's take a look at the recent comment of the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Chief Emeka Anyoku. He has raised concerns about the erosion of core values in Nigerian society, which we've been preaching for a long time and which we've implored the National Orientation Agency to amplify. He spoke at the 29th Annual Role Model Award ceremony organized by the Hallmark of Labour Foundation, where different Nigerians were honored for their exceptional contributions to the country. And Chief Anyoku lamented what he described as a sharp decline in the values that once defined Nigerian society. And he said that hard work and integrity as a non-negotiable virtues are increasingly being undermined. And me personally, I agree with this, because the emergence of this new generation of young people we have now, at the age of 16, a young person actually wants to make millions. When I was 16 years old, the only thing in my mind was to excel in my WAEC exams and JAMB and make it to the university. That was my only sincerely speaking. I'm very sure you have the same notion as well.
You see, you say ti oroba koje ekun. And whereas an issue and you is more than what.
Why am I laughing, God?
So because it's more than cry, so you have to laugh. That's why I'm laughing too. And I will even start with this. There is this music. They will say, "Hey, you have not seen anything." You see, why am I saying this? This should even be announced as a national disaster. It should be treated more than COVID-19. Because at this current system that we are practicing, you understand, with the system that what we have been enjoying was the indirect effort put in place by our forefathers, by training people's morals, social norms, you understand, neighbor, being a friendly person, being your brother's keepers, honesty, virtues. Look at how eroded is this erosion. No, look at how flooded. No, flood is even small. Look at how tsunamic, if I can use that word,
my God,
this issue has been. You have not seen anything. You have not what? I am already afraid of the generations that this generation will bring.
Wow.
That is the problem.
Should we attribute this to civilization or globalization?
What kind of civilization?
What should we attribute this to?
I cannot say not, but the issue is this: we have unconsciously left where we are. We forgot where we are coming from. At a point, some people even deem it fit to argue that history should be removed. Now people are taking social studies and go back to school. Sorry, school is the solution.
Yes.
What we are teaching social studies is not what we should be teaching. You understand? We are now in a system where the dividends of labor is not even worth of anything.
Concerning that,
how many people even want? I'm sorry, I'll go to direction. I have to go there so people can relate.
Okay.
How many people will be even happy that their daughter is bringing home a civil servant? How many people will be willing as a suitor? How many people who are allowed? You understand? The moment. Mr. NEDU, I'm not sorry. I'm not sure you are married. But
no, I'm not.
You are not. If anybody take you home now, you see the eyes at which they'll be measuring you, not just you as a person. They are not interested in your character. They will first of all look at the window. How did you get here? They will size you up
and look at the car you brought.
That is the window they are looking at. They will look at the window. What is outside? You understand? we are in a generation. I'm sorry I'm going to this house. Do you know I have in my life? I'm sorry that I have to say this, and I'm apologizing a lot. So I'm sorry for apologizing a lot. Do you know in my life when I heard of maybe our parents had told me not even hearing, there's something that they now call girlfriend allowance. The day you may know me, I don't, because I'm married. The day I heard of girlfriend allowance, I was like, what happened? There is monthly allowance. There is a menstrual allowance.
Okay.
There is this allowance. There is that. For what? The day I heard of a young lady, you understand? Maybe I don't know. You know, as a Muslim, I'm see open. You understand? It's just 1, 3 to go. And I was hearing somebody saying, and I prefer to be with. I don't want to glorify them. Let me call them what they are.
Okay.
I prefer to be with a fraudster, internet fraudster, rather than a civil servant. I look back and I was like,
I saw that on social media.
I was like, have you got to this stage? Fortunately for me and for my in-laws, I appreciate the way they have trained my wife. When I was dating her, she did not even collect 1 naira of my hand. What? I can pity you. Your expression. I pity your expression now.
You don't mean it.
Sincerely speaking. Sincerely, for me to give her gift is war. And that is why right now I trusted her with everything. Because when I was nothing, of course I'm still not what I want to be, but I can trust. I'm so lucky that I met her when I have nothing. So I'm very sure categorically she's not with me because of anything. How many people can say that now?
Are you saying that there is no hope at all for
there
young
is hope.
people?
There is hope. And in fact, we are still lucky. I can still tell you that right now, unfortunately, it's just that the noise of the empty barrels are the one that is loudest. I can still tell you that there are many good people out there. I can tell you for free. I'm still telling you that there are many parents that are still teaching values. But what we need now is government effort to help us amplify these good stories. Stories of people who are not still after money. We are still seeing people returning stolen cash. Let us celebrate them like we have seen an angel on earth. You understand? Don't let us just announce punishment. When we see people doing the right thing, should be celebrated now.
It will encourage others.
It will encourage others. Because people who are doing, look at our social media, what we see is people floating wealth. You understand? Telling you it doesn't matter, and this is even coupled with religious preachings. I'm telling you, I have listened to many Christian religious sermons, Islamic religious sermons on TikTok, on Facebook, on social media, where the youth are seen, and I can tell you that what I am hearing is not what should be hearing. If they are not abusing each other, they are abusing something else. They are causing something else. They are causing people to work and anyways and get resources. How many percent if is even teaching about? I remember when I was small. When during Ramadan, when we go to all these things, the only thing we hear is they will even tell you, all of you cannot be rich. And that is still what is going on. I don't even, when you say me, I will say, if I will be rich, I will be rich. Because I am meant to know that it's only God that give what? Wealth. Look at our Yoruba movies there. Look at our how do we know Kanayo? How do we know him?
Dr. Sulaiman Hafiz.
When we watch this, you know what will happen.
We have to take it home right now.
Unfortunately, before we do, unfortunately,
I'm very sure that this conversation, it will not end here. I'll have to continue this conversation after
I will not get to the solution part.
I sincerely apologize. Due to the want of time.
I understand.
Here, but I think the message is very clear here. That the values as Nigerians, as Africans, is gradually eroding. We need to.
It's not eroding.
We need to preach it.
It is tsunamized.
Oh my God!
It's more than flooding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from my guest this morning. Due to want of time, we don't have time to hammer on this and to also. But you know the answer to all this. The answer to all this is to imbibe on the values that actually preach good Nigerians. My name is NEDU OKORIE, and this is where I'll be drawing the curtains on today's edition of Diamond Breakfast Show. Thank you so much, Dr. Sulaiman Hafiz, for coming this morning. I really appreciate you. We'll continue this conversation later on. Have a wonderful day, Nigerians.
I welcome you, Mr. Casey, from the Nigeria Business Mastery Group.
Thank you very much. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's glad being here today.
Mr. Casey, a lot of people want to know what the Nigeria Business Mastery Group is all about.
The Nigerian Business Mastery Group is an international business partnership organization that shows smart and forward-thinking people how they can raise funds for businesses or projects. The word there is raise, right? So what is done in the Nigerian Business Mastery Group is that we will show you alternative ways you can use to raise the funds you need to set up that business